And I've said multiple times that, like, the reason why I don't mess with resellers is I don't feel you guys provide a service the way you think you do. And, you know, the basic hashtag sneakerhead on Instagram, on TikTok, doing your little dance. I'm gonna get some hate for this, but let's break it down. Hey, what up guys, and welcome to another episode of Creased. Today we're going to be touching on every Facebook, Instagram and TikTok sneakerhead's favorite shoe. But for now, let's go shopping. Them Air Force Ones were cool, with a little bottle opener in the stash pocket. Air Max 90s, I see them with dope, they're in most stores. And then obviously it's getting a little bit cold, so the polo slippers, polo slippers, you know, might match me up. Might have to get the PJs too, I don't know. I definitely saw some TNs and stuff, but they're more like the real old school sort of colorways that the OGs were like, but not for me. Before I forget, I should definitely mention the T-Max. I ain't seen them in a minute. I remember back in the day, like wanting a pair of T-Max, especially that green and gold colorway. I don't know what it was for, if it was some Olympic shit, like I don't even know, but back in the day I wanted them joints. Now I look at them and go, they're a little bit goofy, but I was wearing goofy shit like that back in the day. I remember M1. I'll be like, whatever I'm wearing, I've got these big ass fucking M1s on, like, but I loved it. That was the era. That was the era. So we are talking about the Panda Dunk. Now, don't get me wrong, plain black and white silhouette, I'm a fan. I literally created one on Nike ID, but like a better version, right? But the hype of these just won't die down, like to the point I put them in the sneaker of the year for last year, like the countdown, right? Even though it was a GR, even though it wasn't like an original colorway or anything, but just for the hype, because the fact that we're reselling for like $400 or $500 still to this day blows my mind. But we're gonna get into the nitty-gritty, the raw details of this shoe, and why people like myself are blown away by how much this shoe just keeps coming, right? Well, not keeps coming, the hype around it, and you know, the basic hashtag sneakerhead on Instagram, on TikTok, doing your little dances or whatever. I'm gonna get some hate for this, but let's break it down. Resellers seem to like this shoe because it essentially is a gift that keeps on giving. They can make crazy money on it. I mean, a retail on a Nike Dunk, right, is like $150, $160. Kids ones are a little bit cheaper, and even they go for crazy prices. But I even see resellers basically complaining that they drop so often that it's like ruining the hype, and they've ruined the shoe and all this. And to that I'd say, do you know what a general release is? Literally, this is a general release. It goes to every store. They treat it like a hype shoe. They put it in raffles, but it is a GR release. To the point where prior to Dunks being hype, and yes, there was a time before that. If you're watching this and you don't know about that time, you're probably not a real sneakerhead, yeah? Dunks used to sit at factory outlets for near nothing. I had a pair of Washington Dunks highs. They go for crazy amounts on StockX. Picked them up for like 65 bucks. No problem. Now, the thing with the Panda Dunk, you could almost say they've essentially like done it like an Air Force One low. There'd be multiple drops per quarter. So if you're a store, you get your catalog, you get your order, whatever. It's actually online nowadays, but you go through and say we're doing Q1. Righto, Panda Dunks, we want this many. They sell out in seconds, they're all gone. A few weeks later, you're doing Q2. Alright, Q2, righto, Q2 drops, they do the same thing. In years gone by, that shoe just would have been on the shelf all year round. But people, for some reason, feel the need to buy up everything, resell them, crazy prices. At this point, everyone who wants a pair of Panda Dunks has probably got a pair of Panda Dunks. So your $300 to $400, even $500, I have seen them that high, is insane to me. Absolutely insane. And I cannot stress this enough. This is a GR release with GR quality. Like, even below GR quality. Shout outs to the guy here. I'm gonna link his YouTube and whatever right there. But he basically cuts his shoe in half, breaks down the leather, and listen to what he says.
So I'm gonna pop this swoosh first. And as you can see, it is real leather. So let's do this back heel panel here. That's leather as well. Then to this lace panel. That is leather too. And then to the toe, both of these panels are leather as well. So surprisingly, this whole shoe, the whole upper is made of leather, and it's about 1 millimeter thick, but it is so cheap and so fake feeling. It might as well not even be real leather, because the way they make this leather is they take all the really low quality hides that have all the flaws, all the imperfections, they trim off the very top layer to give it a nice even texture on top. Then they lay down a fat layer of polyurethane or plastic on top. Then they emboss a fake leather print on the top. So they end up looking cheap, they look fake, they crease. Literally the first time you bend this leather, it creases because of the plastic on top. And most importantly, with this much synthetic material on top of real leather, it slowly separates and it slowly fakes, and those creases slowly become a separation and a little bit of a bubble. You can already see it. We've worn these for the B-roll, and you can see there's a bubble right there.
This shoe, mate, like we already did a video on how bad Nike Dunk quality control is. I've had 2 pair of Nike Dunks that I've won from raffles, right? We had the Pollen Dunks and we had the MITUS Dunks. One I should have sent back, and the other I did send back. Both because of quality issues, right? The quality on these are nuts. If you need a refresher, here it is. Like, this is a guy, he's made a whole YouTube out of like cutting shoes in half and like seeing the quality. He knows about leather and everything, right? All the properties that you would get from leather are gone with the way they do this leather. So they may as well not be leather. He's saying as soon as you wear them, it will crease. It's not like a good Air Jordan 1 leather where, like, say my Pine Green 2.0s, I've worn them a bunch of times, they still have no creases. They look brand new apart from the sole. There's a little bit of style loss, but basically brand new, right? And I've said multiple times that, like, the reason why I don't mess with resellers is I don't feel you guys provide a service the way you think you do. You're vultures. You're scalpers. Lowest of the low. And if it's not hype releases, now you're going after GRs. Like, I mean, if they build it, they will come. There's a market for everything. Don't get me wrong. I understand it. But when I see them getting upset that, oh, there's too many released, it's ruining the market, it's ruining the hype, bro, it is a GR. You may as well call this an Air Force One, a white on white Air Force One, which up until the absolute insanity that these were reselling, would be on the shelf all year round. We're getting a little bit low on these sizes, yep, order them in, sweet. And I know plenty of people with Panda Dunks. I know people that's their beater. They've had multiple pairs. But for the most part, they're not paying resale. Every other drop sees a waning disinterest in the shoe. You know why? Because people have already got them. The bots get most of them, but it trickles down. Like, people get some. Then the next drop, people get some. And these are dropping at like Hype, Foot Locker, JD, maybe Nike, I'm not sure. But multiple places. All the time. And then they're restocking. Culture Kings as well. They're a general release shoe. General release. The crazy one to me is when Nike ID happened and people were like, I showed you how you could do like certain colorways and make them similar to very hype colorways in a point to be like, if you actually like the shoe, this is what you could do. Because I've thought them hype colorways look terrible, but you know, it is what it is. Like the Ray Guns and all that, the 711's terrible, but because they're a hype shoe, they're rare, people wanted them. People then went on and resold those shoes, how I showed you how to do it. So whether or not they seen it or not, I don't know, they may have just had the same thought as me. I created 2 pairs of Dunks. Let me get them. These were essentially like a Panda Dunk but with a gum rubber sole, because I love me a gum rubber sole. It's suede instead of leather around there, but obviously you couldn't do anything to the toe box then. Then obviously these ones were kind of like a Dior Jordan 1, but again, like the quality on these are a lot better than the Pandas you were getting, 100%. And they're making 1. But then they unlocked the toe box. Maybe 2 to 3 months ago. I would have got those last year. They've redone the Dunk, you could do the toe box. So you could literally make a Panda Dunk. And I saw people reselling them. It's like, I think there was a drop around the same time, and maybe it sat, I feel like it sat there for a bit, because I feel like I could have got another pair, but I'm at the point where I've done 3 custom Dunks, so I don't really need it. I could have got a pair, I could have made my own Panda Dunks. People were reselling Panda Dunks, and I was like linking it going, bro, just make your own. But then people were making colorways and selling them as they do. At the end of the day, it is a very, very plain shoe. The quality is very, very average. They still look nice, don't get me wrong. If I see them on the shelf, I'm going to buy them. Would I pay $300 to $400 to $500 for them? Definitely not. Not on your life. There's not many shoes I would pay that for. Like, legit, I just wouldn't. But one positive of all of this, what resellers are focusing on, this 550s and mids and lows, they're leaving 3s and 4s alone, which are my favourites, so maybe that's the shining light out of all this. This has been another episode of Creased. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and we'll be back twice a week. Couple more episodes. Peace. Fuck. Almost died right there. And I know people... Fuck, I can't say words. Unique, New York.